Welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Miller. Every week, I chat with fascinating people from all walks of life in order to bring you knowledge, inspiration, and insight. If you enjoy the show, you can support it by subscribing, leaving a review, and sharing it with a friend. This is the Jeremy Miller Podcast. Dude, welcome to the podcast. Stoked to catch up. It's been a hot minute. Since we had
are we live?
Yeah, we're ripping.
Oh yeah, let's do it then.
Since you were on last time, the big accomplishment you had was the 2:36 marathon.
Yeah.
Is there anything in between
Indianapolis? There? No. Let's see. At the month of May, when I came out here, I did rim to rim to rim.
Oh yeah, it was like the week before. We did our 50K.
No, it was after. I did rim to rim to rim the first weekend of May, and then I came out here and ran a 50K. And the week after I left here, I went and paced one of my athletes in a marathon at Bayshore.
I remember.
So May was crazy.
And then November was Indy.
November, yep. First weekend of November, Indianapolis Marathon.
2:36.
Finally.
Dude.
2 years.
You were stuck at like 2:40 for a while, right?
2:40. I ran 2:40, two different races. 2:40 Indy 2022, 2:40 Boston 23, 2:41 Asheville 24, and another race where I ran pretty bad. I shit the bed, ran 2:45.
Dude, so what was the breakthrough? Like, what do you think you did differently?
I switched up my training. I hired a new coach. And, I mean, obviously, these marathon training blocks, you know as well as I do, they're not in silos. You're constantly building one on top of the other. So I came into Indy, in really good shape. I try to stay in good shape year-round, obviously, being able to – I like doing things, ripping a 50K, being able to rip 20 miles at 650 pace. I just try to stay ready, try to keep my fitness at a high level at all times. But when I hired that coach, Randy Ashley, shout out Coach Randy out in Asheville, North Carolina, we switched up my training. And from the get-go, dude, he was throwing a lot of new stuff at me. Number one was we went from a 7-day cycle to a 10-day cycle.
I've heard of people doing that.
Yeah. So you can get more quality work within that 10-day cycle. You don't focus so much on weekly volume. Obviously, you focus on the quality of work you get in within 10 days. But he's real big on doing a lot of cadence work at the end of your easy runs. So getting the body used to picking them up, for lack of a better term, picking them up, putting them down in a fatigue state. We did a lot of that. We usually did strides 3 times within that 10-day cycle. So strides, threshold work, long run, and steady run was within that 10-day cycle. Okay. So you're hitting a lot of different intensities.
Yeah.
My mileage went up to the highest it's ever been. I think I was in between 80 and 85 most weeks. Dang. with that type of work within that 10-day cycle. And
so 80 85 miles per 7 days?
Per 7 days. Okay. Yeah. And, stayed really healthy, continued to strength train. My friend Chris Lee's got an app called Which Weight, a lot of runner-focused stuff, Olympian tested type of training. He's out in Boulder, Colorado. Actually, your coach knows him.
Paul Saffron?
Paul uses Which Weight, the strength training piece that he uses.
I think I've heard him talk about that.
Yeah, dude. Okay. That's Chris Lee.
Interesting.
So Chris is Karen Adam Goucher's coach.
Oh, okay. What's like a sample week of strength training look like on that?
So it's full body sessions. You do 2 full body sessions, 2 mobility sessions. You're incorporating full body workouts. You're incorporating things like Copenhagen planks, star planks. You want to make sure that you are lots of runner focused type stuff. Plyometric work. Chris is real big on plyometric calf work. That type of stuff, on a consistent basis. I was doing most weeks, I was hitting both strength sessions, at least 1 mobility session. The plyometric work, dude, that helped out so much.
Really?
I kept a lot of, because you think about we think about distance running as an endurance sport, but you've got to be able to generate power. You know as well as I do. That's why you lift like you do. And so it's an endurance sport disguised as a power sport. And that's kind of the approach that we were taking with the strength training. Let's continue to stay healthy, durable, generate power. And I mean, it just, it all worked out, man. It all worked out.
That's great. So were you in those strength sessions, was it mostly body weight, like plyometrics?
No, it was. It was.
Okay.
A lot of body weight, a lot of max effort type box jumps, lots of single leg, triple hops, max effort. We did deadlifting, we did squatting, just typical stuff.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about the app was you get these different options, 30, 45 minutes, 60 minutes. And so it's very individualized. You plug in your race and it will taper you. Like if you have a B race leading up to it, it'll taper you out right before your goal race, the way that, the ways you should. And dude, that was another game-changing thing for me, was the coaching with Randy, the new type of stimulus that he was throwing at me in philosophy. My body responded really well to it, and then doing the things with which weight.
Yeah, that's great. Those are all the things you just mentioned are things I've learned in this prep for myself as I'm trying to prep for Sub 240. Is like I'm just reading a lot more, like researching all this stuff, like trying to figure out how to get faster. And it's like that exact thing you said is, like, everybody thinks running is like this long endurance thing, which it is, but you should strength train the opposite of that, essentially, because you still need that like fast twitch muscle fiber.
Yep.
When you're at like mile 20 of the marathon, or when you're on a hill, or you're doing a speed session on the track and your legs are tired, you can like basically tap into those different muscle fibers that otherwise you wouldn't normally do. So that's super interesting. I'm curious how the app had you taper for strength training, because that's something I feel like everybody does a little differently. But like for me, for example, I'll usually like the first week of the taper, I'll still do my strength session, but I'll cut the weights like in half. And then the week of the race, I'll just do like body weight stuff, but the same exercises. So I'm curious how the app had you taper for that.
So same thing. We actually kept the weight 2 weeks out, but brought down the volume.
Oh, okay.
And then the week of, it's more isometric type stuff. Let's just activate the fibers. Let's get some some low level fatigue in here. Just range of motion type stuff, and then we raced.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Dang. So 10-day cycle, 80 to 85 miles per week, and
lots of quality within that, dude.
Yeah.
Strides, steady state. He was big on steady state. I hit a lot of steady state running.
Yeah, I have done more of that this block than I ever have, and this is the fittest I feel ever.
Yeah.
I think it's like, so for some reason, like all my coaches before just gave me like interval work.
Yeah,
and
you either running super hard or really easy all the time.
Yeah, and it's like everybody tells you to avoid that gray zone where you're like,
I seen you just posted about that.
Exactly, it's like that zone 3 work that most people tell you to not touch, but I think it's like an untapped potential. It's
what you race the marathon in, typically.
Exactly.
I mean, my average heart rate for Indianapolis was 152, 154.
That's pretty low, I feel like.
So, I mean, that's gray zone, though. That's 160 is kind of the threshold. So I'm right below threshold, but, 145 is my, right where I hit that aerobic threshold.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I ran 2 hours and 36 minutes pretty much in that zone 3 type of effort.
Do you know what your max heart rate is?
I don't. Not off the top of my head.
I imagine, because you're not that much older than me, right? How old are you?
Dude, I'm the old guy in the group anymore, dude. 38, about to be 39.
Okay, I guess you got 11 years on me. So I guess sounds about right, because my threshold's like 175 heart rate. So if you're like 165 or
yeah, that's about right.
Okay, that sounds right then. Dang, you're just the old man, I guess. Dude, that's nuts. How did the race day go?
So another thing too that I want to mention is Randy's approach with the taper. Typically, I would do, I'd cut my volume by about 30%. Randy took a little bit more of an aggressive approach. We didn't change mileage that much. I got sick 3 weeks out. 3 weeks out, and I was down for 5 days. Like, couldn't hardly do anything. And I just trusted that my body was like telling me we need to rest. Because I went through this whole training block, no injuries, no sickness, no nothing. And honestly, I really think that was actually a good thing that I got sick, because when I came back, I felt so good. I felt really strong, fresh. Legs and body had a lot of energy, a lot of pop. And but the taper was, let's continue to keep the mileage relatively high, and let's continue to do our cadence work and just stay sharp. And I can't remember what my volume was 2 weeks out and then the week of, but we didn't drop a whole lot. He was like, I don't want you to get stale. And so it was a little bit more of an aggressive taper. Not a huge difference, but a little bit more aggressive. And I mean, honestly, I didn't do a whole lot of marathon pace work.
I've done zero, and I'm 5 weeks out from my
race. Dude, that's pretty much what Randy was doing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It sounds like they have very similar philosophies.
It sounds like it, dude. And I know Paul, I've listened to him. I just heard him on, shout out Dom, Running Effect. I just heard him on Running Effect the other day. I was listening to Paul on that. And they definitely sound like they're very similar in their philosophy and everything.
Yeah. Where did your coach run collegiately, or?
So he actually qualified for the Olympic trials in marathon in 96 and 2000.
Oh, nice.
Randy's old school.
Nice.
Yeah, he's old school.
That's cool.
He coached Rocky Hansen, who was a sub 4 minute guy. Rocky runs for On right now. He runs at Wake Forest, one of the top guys in the country, in the mile. So yeah, I mean, very similar philosophy for sure.
That's cool. Yeah, dude, having a good coach that you not only get along with, but somebody that actually knows what they're doing is so important. There's so many influencer coaches out there and Chat GPT coaches now, where it's somebody advertising that they're a coach. They've never ran a marathon. They've never done the thing that they're even coaching, but they're like, I could help you out.
Yeah.
And then they just ask Chat GPT to write everybody their own personalized program and charge $100 a month for it or whatever.
Crazy.
It's so sad.
That's crazy.
But point being, finding a good coach is so helpful.
And I've learned so much from mine. I mean, even having Jeff for 2 years, I had a coach before him, Donnie, for a training block, and then Randy for this last one, and just learning, man. I mean, being a sponge, and it just goes to show that there's several different ways to skin a cat, right? And what's the saying? As long as you use a sharp knife, as long as it's effective, as long as it's individualized, and you're taking a good, smart approach to things. But I really, really liked Randy's approach to training.
Yeah, being willing to be a beginner and kind of forget everything you already know and try a new approach, try a new training method.
Yeah,
I think that's how you get better. This whole zone 3 thing for me has been mind blowing.
Yeah,
because everything I ever saw before was don't run zone 3.
Yeah.
Don't run that weird, awkward, steady state faster than your easy pace. But it's been a game changer. I feel so fit from it. And it's you get so much more bang for your buck aerobically.
Yep.
Than just your typical easy run. But you're not delaying your recovery too much because you're not tapping into threshold at all.
Yeah. Yeah. I just prescribed that to one of my athletes this morning, and we're talking about that. And it's you're driving that aerobic threshold a little bit higher. We continue to make that marathon pace faster by doing the threshold work and the strides and the turnover work. And yeah, dude, I mean, I love the zone 3 stuff. Like I say, he would prescribe that once or twice a week. And
nice.
It was fun too. It was a good change up.
But you did strides. What was your routine for strides? How do you normally do those?
Dude, we would normally do, a lot of my easy miles were anywhere from 8, 10, 11 miles. And at the very end, we never done strides in the middle, which is what some coaches will prescribe. He always wanted me to get an hour 15, an hour and 30 minutes in, and then let's pick them up and put them down, and let's run mile effort, and let's try to get sub 5 minute pace on those strides, or even faster if you could.
And those were how long? 15, 20 seconds?
20, 30 seconds.
Okay.
20, 30 seconds.
Nice. Did you ever do any hill bursts or hill sprints or anything?
Yeah. I would incorporate, because I'm 38.
Ancient, dude.
Ancient. I have found here recently, well, actually Transcon's kind of changing that thinking for me, just how well I've been recovering. But during the marathon training, I would do hill strides just because it was taking a little bit more stress off my body.
Yeah.
So I would incorporate some hill strides as well.
Do you know the book? I think it's called The Uphill Athlete or something. I think Killian Jornet is a co-author. I think it's him. it's some like training book, and like the whole thing is talking about like doing uphill training, like doing your speed work uphill, because you get the aerobic benefit, you still get the lactate benefits and all that, but it's so much less impact. So like reduces your risk of injury basically, and you recover faster.
I haven't heard of it. No.
Yeah,
it's an
interesting book. Yeah. That's cool, man. I love this. I love nerding out on this kind of stuff.
Me too. And we didn't get to talk about it last time because we dove into my story and everything. Right. So I know that I was excited about talking through some of this stuff with you.
Yeah. If you guys are listening to this and you haven't heard the first episode with Kallup, go check it out. He's got an absolutely insane story. It's an amazing episode, a very powerful episode, a little emotional here and there. But dude, you've got just such a great attitude and a mentality on life from all the shit you've been through. And now you're ripping 2:36 marathons, getting ready to do a freaking Transcon. Like, it's inspiring, dude. And for being 38 years old, I mean that in the best way. Like, I don't know any other 38-year-olds that are running that fast, doing Transcons, like training the way you are. Like, you're definitely like a top-tier athlete as well, which is really cool to see.
Dude, we're just getting started, too.
Just getting started.
Wait till I hit my 40s.
Dude,
I hadn't even hit my prime yet, dude.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's talking like your endurance peak is like mid-30s or whatever. Yeah. Like, you're getting faster, and you're beyond that peak, as most people would call it. Like, do you think it's just what do you think that is? Like, just the way you've trained, or your mindset, or like what's allowed you to like continue to get faster with time?
I would say yes to all that. Mindset. Like I said, I always try to keep a really high level of fitness. I'm constantly training for something. After my big event, I'll try to have a little bit of downtime just to rest the mind, recover, recharge the batteries and everything.
How long does that usually take?
2 weeks, tops. Tops.
You don't take the like 3-4 month off season?
No. But yeah, just mindset, constantly keeping something on the schedule, constantly striving, wanting to get better, test myself in new ways. And coaching, dude, I've kept a coach for the last 4 years. Full time. After I have an event, I'll have some downtime, but the majority of the time I'm under somebody's tutelage and coaching, and that's something, having that accountability, keeping skin in the game. If you're paying for something, right, you're more likely to do it. So that's something I'm a huge believer in. Even if I wasn't a coach, I'd still be doing it. So I think those things, and just my passion for the sport, my passion for fitness, and what it does for me. Not even the times, it's not even chasing that so much. What it is, like, what it does for my mind, what it does for my soul, my spirit, my emotions, and it really is medicine for me. And it's something that I fell in love with after, I got into recovery and getting out of jail and everything. And I promised myself that I was going to attack life and always take care of myself. And so this is a promise that I keep to myself. And so I think what I've been able to achieve over the last few years is a testament to that promise that I made, and just the consistency, man.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, I think so many people make excuses for shit, and it's like everything in life is a choice. It's just wherever we're at in life is because of the choices we made. And it's like, if you actively choose to get faster in the marathon, to build your business, do whatever it is you want to do, like, you can do whatever the hell you want. Like, people do it every single day. There's people older than me doing this, people younger than me doing this, and better off positions financially, whatever, doing more than me. It's like there's always somebody pushing the limits, and it's just literally a matter of the choices that you make.
I think you surround yourself with people too.
That too.
You need to have that encouragement, that motivation, that inspiration. I think that's good too.
100%.
Yeah.
Damn, dude, this is good shit. Do you have aspirations to run or ambitions to run like a 235, 230? Like,
dude,
I know you're not stopping at 236.
I'm coming for next. I'm telling y'all right now. I will be at my fastest in my 40s. I will be running in 220s when I'm 40.
Hell yeah.
227 by the time I'm 40 years old. Calling it,
bro.
227 time I'm 40. Give me 2 years.
What pace do you have to run? What pace is 236? That's like
236 is 5:59 pace.
What pace is it to break 230?
230 is 5:45 pace, I think.
It sounds not like a lot, but that's a lot.
It is a lot.
But
it is a lot.
Dude, like, look at where remember your first marathon you ran? Like, what time you ran?
5:25.
You ran a 5:25?
I was the second to last man on the course.
I mean, that's what, like
12, like
11-minute pace or something? Dude, I mean, now you're running twice as fast, basically.
Dude, I came. So, crazy story. My first few races, I ran 5:25, my first marathon, one of the last men on the course. And then I went to Badwater. No, excuse me. Then I went to, I did a 50K in Davidson, North Carolina. I was the last guy on the course. They were tearing all the equipment down when I finished the 50K. 6+ hours. 6 or almost 7 hours. And then I ran Badwater, Cape Fear, a 51 miler in North Carolina. Second to last, finished 10 minutes under the cutoff.
Oh my gosh.
Second, and that was my first 3 races, dude. I sucked. I was terrible. And I had no idea. If you'd have told me then that I'd be running what I am right now, I wouldn't have believed you. And yet here we are, 236, getting ready to run across America. So, I mean, it's like we put limitations on ourselves and we just tell ourselves, like, this is who I am. This is the type of athlete that I am. These are my limitations. And, you know, the only ones that we really have are the ones that we put on ourselves. But I think it's that mindset shift that we got to take. Got to be open to different possibilities. We got to be willing to put in the work, and we got to show up, man, and just be consistent, and then look what can happen.
Yeah.
Running, business, whatever it is, you know, put
dude.
in the work, man. Have the faith. And
How long ago were those first 3 races?
2018. 2018.
Dang, so what, 7 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not like there was some magic prep or magic workout that you did.
No,
it's like,
dude.
now I'm running a 5-hour marathon to a 2:36.
Yeah.
It's like
Just miles.
Just miles and years of consistency.
Yep.
Dude, I'm sure you get a lot online too, but I get so many questions of like, I want to get faster. How do I get faster? I'm like, just run more.
Yeah.
Like, just run more and do it for like years.
Yep.
That's the only way to do it. There's no hack or secret. Just keep doing it and be patient.
That's it.
And that's another testament to that.
Yep.
That's cool, man. Okay, Transcon.
Yeah.
Dude, why the Transcon? That's a big. How many miles is it? 3,000 something?
3,100, give or take.
26 wasn't enough for you?
Nope. Nope. We're hungry, man.
What's the reason behind the Transcon?
Well, there's several. Number one is, you know, my dad, he used to always tell me to get out of Cherokee. Get out of Cherokee, go to explore the world. There's a big world outside of here. You know, go out and see it. So, do I have to run across America to do that, experience that? Absolutely not, but that is something that appeals to me. That initial thought came from when I ran in 2018, the Trail of Tears. You know, in that multi-day event, very, very early on in my running journey. Ran about 20 miles a day during that journey and everything. You know, several times I ran over that. But I just loved the challenge of getting up every single day and you're staring down X amount of miles. Like, how are you going to get there, right? And I loved how many people that I met along the way, how many people I inspired along the way. And so, like, having that purpose behind my running is something that I've always been big on. You know, how can I use something that I love so much for something better, something bigger? And that's what Transcon's about, is finding, I was thinking about this the other day, this is an endurance event disguised as a spiritual odyssey. Like, going out, for me, dude, I want to go out and I want to experience God and nature and creation on a much larger scale. I want to see what my body's truly capable of. I want to see what my mind's truly capable of. Getting up and running 62 miles every day. Like, can I do that? And that's a number that I'm set on. I feel like that's really going to push my limits. And, you know, using my running to support my charity or nonprofit, RezHOPE Recovery and Consulting. And the guys that we get to serve on a daily basis, you know, my wife, Caitlin, she's the executive director. I'm the founder of the nonprofit and everything, but we've got 7 guys at home. Last time we were out here, we're just talking about getting it up and running.
Yeah.
We're close, but we hadn't got any residents in our house yet. Now we've got 7 residents.
That's epic.
And they're living there, communal living. Most of them are working, reconnecting with their families. They're working out twice a week, doing our Addict to Athlete program, getting healthier. We've had guys who are diabetic come off their insulin, lose 20, 30 pounds, getting reconnected with their family who hadn't spoken to in years. And I was thinking to myself, like, how can I use what I love so much for a bigger purpose? I want to push myself, but I also want to change lives of the people in my community. And I want them to see that I don't want them to live a life of mediocrity. Go out and chase your freaking dreams, man. Go out and build something, start a business, do something incredible with your life. Because coming from what we came from, like, how do we give God a return on his investment whenever we've been spared and so many other people lost their lives? Like, we get a second chance. We get this new lease on life. Let's freaking do something with it. And so me doing this transcontinental run is a way for me to inspire the men and also give back to RezHOPE.
Dude, I love that. Holy shit. That's sick. You guys have 7 people living in there now.
Yeah, we're almost at capacity. We had one guy the other day, Jeremy, who had served a year in county jail. His lawyer calls us. And his lawyer's like, hey, just calling to let you guys know, this guy, Matt, I'm giving you a shout out. The guys are going to love seeing this, dude. They think it's so wild that I get to podcast and travel and everything. But Matt's attorney called, and he was like, he's got some violent charges. Like, he assaulted a police officer. Like, yeah, it's crazy.
Hopefully he doesn't mind you saying all this.
Dude, it's public information.
Okay.
But yeah, and Caitlin and I, we were like, oh my God, like, dude, what's this guy going to be like? And so we called one of our board members who works at the jail, and he was like, look, it's the attorney's job to talk about the precautions and his charges and everything. He's like, it's our job to show grace and mercy and give people a second chance because we all needed it. And I'm like, that's all we need to hear. Like, bring him in. And he's the most gentle, grateful, one of the most grateful people I've ever met, dude. So respectful. We took him out to dinner for the first time in a year that he got to eat at a restaurant. And sitting down and just watching his face light up. We went to a Mexican restaurant. Nothing special. But seeing moments like that, that's why I'm running. Like, whenever I'm having those hard days, remembering those men and how their lives are changing, that's what's going to keep me pushing. It's not about, getting out and becoming some, famous and everything. Like, dude, I'm doing this for me and for them. Ultimately, that's it. Me, God, me, and them, and my family and the people that support me. And dude, that's why I want to do it, man.
That's so cool. That's got to be one of the most inspirational things for somebody in that position now, is like, because you were in that position, they can relate so closely because you were literally where they're standing, 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
Yeah, eight years ago, dude.
That's so wild. And now you're here now.
Yeah.
Doing all this cool shit.
And I always appreciate you, man, allowing me to come on and talk about something I'm so passionate about, sharing my story, and, hopefully, changing lives, man.
Dude, we got so much good feedback from that first episode.
Really?
Like, yeah, dude, I had so many DMs and like comments and stuff on the podcast saying like how inspirational it was, how powerful it was, because like so many people, it doesn't have to be a drug addiction or issues with the law, whatever, like everybody has something they're dealing with.
Yeah.
And it's like, if people can see somebody at like rock bottom and then they can climb out of that and get to a status where they're a business owner and a coach and an athlete, doing all this stuff, like spreading positive messages, inspiring other people. It's like, well, if he can do it, why can't I?
Exactly.
Like that's got to be the most inspirational story
I needed
ever.
that.
Yeah.
I needed that, man. Reading Kallup Rafati's Sun Life founder.
Yeah.
Reading his book. When I was in jail, dude, I could not put his book down. And I'm like, he lived on freaking Skid Row and he's built this. Dude, I can do something amazing with my life. So, hearing that people are resonating with this and it's impacting people's lives, what I've done, and the things that I've been, blessed to be able to go out and accomplish and everything, that warms my heart so much, man.
Yeah, I love that, dude. There's a really famous quote from Marcus Aurelius, the like Stoic philosopher, something along the lines of like, if a human has done it before, then you can too, or like consider it within reach, basically.
Yeah.
Like, if another man has done something, there's literally no reason on planet Earth that you couldn't do it too.
Exactly.
And that's like, again, you're just like a manifestation of that, like rock bottom to now.
Yeah.
It's like, it's so cool. And I'm glad you're sharing your story. There's so many people out there that have done that, but maybe haven't had the opportunity to share their story. So it's like, now you have the opportunity, share it, spread it, do a freaking transcon, get the message out even more, inspire more people. And it's just like this big chain reaction of like, you inspire that one person to get out, like Khalil inspired you.
Yeah.
Now you're doing it to other people. It's like, that's what it's all about.
Dude, and it was crazy because I read his book and then ran Trail of Tears 2018, biked the PCH 2019. When I came through Malibu, I messaged Khalil on Instagram, and he happened to be at a shop. So I met Khalil before he moved to Austin when he was still in Malibu, and he took the time to sit down with me, man, and have just like a chat. Treated me to some bowls and everything. My wife and one of our friends who was with us on that trip, and it helped change my life. And I'm like, dude, I read your book. Now I'm sitting here with you, and like just the way that you've inspired me, and it like those interactions make me want to give back, right? Make me want to turn around and help people, because that's what it's all about, man.
Yeah, I love that, dude. I haven't read his book yet. It's called
I Forgot to Die.
I Forgot to Die.
And then he's got another one, Remembering to Live.
Oh, is that like his second one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I Forgot to Die is, everybody should read. I don't care what your story is, your background, whatever. It's a super inspiring book.
Nice. Yeah, we were just in Sun Life the other day, and I saw it on the shelf, and I almost bought it. Okay,
You should get it.
Okay, I'm gonna buy it next
It's
time
good.
I'm in there.
I read it in less than 2 days. I couldn't put it down.
Dang.
Yeah.
And I've met him before. He's such a good dude. Just
He
like,
is.
he's so unassuming. You just like, that guy owns all these, and he has this crazy story. It's just
Yeah.
like, seems like a regular dude.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I love that kind of stuff. Okay, dude, let's talk about the Transcon some more. 62 miles a day, 100K. Why that number? Like, why 100K? Is that like a world record or something?
No, the world record's Pete Kostelnick. I think Pete averaged 71 or 72 a day. Yeah.
That's nuts. How many days would that take? I guess you could do the math.
48 or something.
Damn.
No, less than that. 43.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
If you do 62 a day every day,
About 50 days.
50 days.
Yeah.
Almost 2 months.
Yeah.
Of 100K a day.
Yep.
Damn. Do you think that's do you think you can do it?
Why 100K a day?
Okay, answer that first.
So I went to, or actually, Griffin Wooden, who's out of earshot here. Anyways, he told me about Dave Proctor, who ran the Trans-Canada World Record. Dave Proctor set that in 2021. Anyways, I started reading Dave's book. Dave averaged 62 miles a day. But seeing what Dave went through to accomplish that goal, his first attempt, his body broke down. He got injured like the day before. Crazy story. I might be butchering the story a little bit, but he was doing a media obligation. It was a huge promotional type thing. Had so many big corporate sponsors behind him. A freak accident. He threw his back out, had nerve damage, and he started to run with a screwed up back. And so he ended up having to drop. But 62 miles a day, I mean, just reading his experience and how it just broke his body down. And I'm like, okay, like that appeals to me. Like, I know I can do double marathon. I'm very confident I could accomplish a double marathon, and it not just absolutely obliterate my body. So I was like, okay, what's the next thing? And then just having that round number, 100K, that's something I'm like, well, I might as well go for it.
Yeah, so, why not?
And then seeing Matt do 49, 50 miles a day and how that was really pushing him. Matt today would crush that versus, when he did it in October.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so Matt's limit, he was really, really struggling with that. I seen the struggle that he was having with those 50-mile days. I'm like, okay. So 62 is probably going to be really, really tough. So, I mean, just, seeing other people, what they've done in the past, and and Paul Johnson did like 59 miles a day. I think he averaged 59.
Dang.
So I'm like, okay, 62 we'll see. It sounds good. It sounds good sitting here talking to you right now.
You're faster than both those guys, so just kidding. Makes sense to me. I'm just kidding. Love you, Paul and Matt.
Jeremy said it, guys.
Dude, I'm excited to see this. What's your training look like? I feel like we're briefly talking about this before the podcast. I feel like there's kind of a shift in how people train for ultras. I guess you could call the Transcon an ultra or type of ultra. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like especially at the 100-mile distance, where that's obviously different from a multi-day event, but like people are treating it more just like get in as good of aerobic shape as possible. Like train for it like a marathon almost. Like lots of speed work, lots of like steady state aerobic type stuff. Are you doing any of that for this? Like,
absolutely.
Because my thinking on it, and what I think most people are saying is like fitness is fitness. Like you just want to get as fit as possible, build as big of aerobic engine as possible. So then it's like when you're running at your easy pace, like you're running more efficiently, you're saving energy, even though you're never going to run 6-minute pace during the Transcon probably, but like you're just more efficient, more economic in general. Is that kind of your approach to it? Or?
It's exactly what I was talking to Matt and Griffin about this morning is, and David Roche is kind of really changing the game with his training, and it's all interconnected. Our mile pace is going to affect our 5K, is going to affect our half marathon, going to affect our marathon pace, all the way down to your ultra marathon multi-day pace. So how efficient and how economical can you be, right? And one way to do that is continuing to not just go out and slog miles, right? And your form break down, you feel like crap. I feel like crap when I'm running 9:30, 10-minute pace. I just feel like trash. I'm changing up my gait, changing up my form. Things just start hurting. So what we're doing is we're continuing to run in that aerobic type of effort. So right now for me, that's anywhere from 8 to 8:45 pace on most days. We're continuing to do strides. I'm doing some threshold work. I did a 10 by 2 minute threshold work within a marathon the other day, 2 or 3 days ago. And just continuing to keep some cadence work within there. Trying to stay super efficient under sub 9-minute pace. That way that feels smooth out there,
Interesting. Yeah, David Roche is like really changing the game.
He's
the first one I've really seen like publicly talk about it.
Yeah.
Like I think
he's getting a lot of shade too thrown his way.
Really?
Yeah.
Because of his training methods?
Some of the trolls, talking about.
What are they saying? Like he's crazy or what?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people still have that old mindset of training, which obviously was effective, but when you know what you know, you only know what you know until you learn something different. And now it's like you see in these different ultramarathoners taking a different approach to training. And I mean, I don't want to train to run. I don't want to go out and just run 10, 12-minute miles, because if I train to run 10, 12 minutes, that's exactly what I want to run. And I'll be spending more time out on the road, right? Spending more energy, less time to recover afterwards. And so people may watch this podcast and be like, this guy's full of shit. Like, he's going to just absolutely break down. Maybe so, but we're going to take a risk and see what happens.
Dude, yeah, it's like, I imagine, I think Jim Walmsley, good example, he's like a sub 220 marathoner.
Yeah, he's 217. He got 15th in Olympic trials in 2020.
Yeah, now he's obviously like one of the best.
Top 20 in Olympic trials.
Best 100-mile runners ever now. It's like.
And he keeps that type of speed, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you kind of touched on it, but David Roche, I think he said in his video the other day on YouTube, it was like, whoever shows up to the Western States 100 start line with the fastest mile time is likely who's going to win.
Yep.
Because it's all interconnected. It's just your aerobic system.
Yeah.
How do you build that aerobic system? Threshold, speed work, steady state runs.
Yeah.
It makes so much sense. And it's like, if you tell that to an ultra runner, they're like, no, I'm never going to run that on race day. So I'm just going to go run my 9-10 minute miles.
Yeah.
Because I don't need it. It's like.
You're leaving a lot on the table. You're leaving a lot on the table.
Yeah. Dude. Okay. So what's like a typical week of training look like now? Because you're ripping like marathons every other day.
Yeah. I'm trying to do multiple marathons a week and then hiking in the afternoon, because I still want to continue to not only remain efficient, right, and keep that cadence and leg turnover at a high rate and that running economy at a high rate, but also just working those hiking muscles and time on feet. So I want to continue to do that type of work. But so I after Indy, took a down week, and then we started ramping back up. Build up to 125 miles as of last week. Because of the travel week, I'm going to have a big down week. I'll probably hit like 60 miles or 70 miles this week. But then next week, and then the next 5 weeks is going to be kind of where I'm peaking. Hopefully, we're going to be sitting around like 150. I haven't talked to my coach yet, but I'm going to go to her. My coach is Mary Beth Cates, Unrunning on Instagram.
She's based in North Carolina, you said?
She's in Tennessee.
Oh, Tennessee.
East Tennessee. And so we've been working on a lot of fueling during the run. Dude, I've been getting down 200 to 300 calories pretty easily, even on my runs, like even on my longer runs and stuff. So just training the gut, and I'm starting to eat big meals and then go for a run.
That's huge.
Yeah. So trying to figure out what my stomach's responding well to. I love sweet potatoes. I love, making like a loaded potato of some sort, doing some sort of rice bowl, something like that. Something that, my stomach responds really well to. But so fueling the gut, 125 miles last week. I've been doing back-to-back marathons, trying to keep, again, just stay aerobically in my aerobic zone with some walk breaks. So when I eat, I take a walk break, but then I go right back to the running, because again, I don't want to be out there 16 hours a day.
Yeah.
By the time I lay down and go to sleep, I got 7 hours tops to recover. I seen it in Dave Proctor's book whenever he did Trans-Canada. He was finishing 100K because that's what he averaged, like 62, 64 miles a day. And he was finishing anywhere between 11 and 13 hours most days.
That's efficient.
Yeah, super efficient. And so that's the approach that I'm taking with this as well.
Dang.
Yep.
That's nuts, man. I can't even like imagine not only the training, but just the like logistics of a Transcon. Like what goes into that?
Dude, I've been telling everybody, when Jeremy asked me about logistics, I want to sound like a jackass because I don't have it yet. I don't have it figured out. And most people are like, oh, we got to have all this planned out or we can't. Dude, I'm a fly by the seat of my pants type of dude. I'm like, I told Caitlin, I said, I want to do Transcon, and then we just started training for it. And then I started like, what's the quote? Fire, aim, ready.
Yeah.
Instead of ready, aim, fire. Like I just shoot, dude, and then we'll figure it out along the way.
There's a lot of value to that. Like, dude, because most people just get stuck in the like planning phase,
yeah,
and then they never fucking do it.
Yeah,
you got to just do it and figure it out as you go.
That's what I do. That's what I do with my coaching. That's what I did with a lot of my stuff. Dude.
I'm all for that. What's your route for the Transcon?
So I want to be starting in San Francisco, and I'm running to Tahlequah, Oklahoma. Tahlequah is where I finished my Trail of Tears run. And then I'm going to be taking a historical route that's significant to my tribe. Chief Junaluska, after the Trail of Tears, he got to Tahlequah, Stillwell area, and then I think he's close to 80 years old. And he decides, I don't want to die here. I want to walk back to Cherokee at almost 80 years old. So there's something called the Junaluska route, which has never been done. It's never been retraced. So that's what I want to be taking from Tahlequah to Cherokee, and then I'll finish.
And that's like 800 miles or something, right?
Yeah, a little bit more. Because he kind of went up and like weaved through Tennessee a bit, and then ultimately settled back in Robbinsville, where he passed away. And
that's epic.
So I'll be kind of retelling that story as well, historical significance behind that. And then from Cherokee, I'll go to Carolina Beach, Wilmington, and finish.
Dang.
Yeah.
So, because that's like a little different Transcon route,
it
obviously. Because most people go like LA to New York.
Mm-hmm.
So has anybody, I'm guessing nobody's ever done that specific route.
Mm-mm.
So
San Francisco to Wilmington? I don't think so. Ricky Gates did Charleston to San Francisco, I think.
Okay. The opposite way.
Yeah.
It makes more sense, though, to start on the West Coast because that's going to be the more mountainous.
Yeah. Get through the Rockies.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, a lot of people don't realize how mountainous the Ozarks are.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Through Arkansas.
Or Arkansas. Yeah.
Yeah, and it kind of runs into Missouri there. But yeah, when I came through there in the Trail of Tears, I was like, what the hell? Like I didn't think we was going to run into this. So there'll be some challenge with that, hitting the Ozarks. So yeah. And then hitting the Smokies back home, East Tennessee, North Carolina area.
What do you think is going to be the hardest part for you? Like, besides running 3,000 miles, like, is there a point where, is there anything that sticks out of like, I thought that might be the crux of this? Is it like
the first 2 weeks? That's what, reading, listening, doing research on people doing these types of multi-day events and really pushing the limits. The first 2 weeks is really, really hard, a really difficult period to get through. So the first 2 weeks, just my body responding to that amount of stress, that volume, that type of, daily output. That's going to be challenging. I've been thinking about the desolate areas, the desert. I don't see people for days. That's going to be challenging. But I think the thing that's really preparing me for that type of stuff is I run 95% of my weekly mileage by myself. I'm out there on the road by myself all the time, and I always have been. I've never had a training group. I've never, had a run club to run with, anything. Like I've pretty much done what I've done solo over the past several years.
What do you think about?
Dude, all kinds of stuff.
I'm guessing
just random crazy ideas like running across America. Like,
I'm guessing you don't listen to music or podcasts or anything.
Sometimes, yeah. Number one's the Jeremy Miller podcast.
I'm sorry for that. I don't wish that upon anybody.
I do listen to music. I listen to nothing on speed work or faster days. I can't. I don't know how people do it.
Yeah, that's too distracting.
It is. I want to be locked in.
Yeah. Easy runs, you can kind of zone out on something.
Yeah.
But dang, so, bro, that's gonna be nuts. You have a crew and everything put together yet?
Nope.
Does it start in like a few weeks?
Pretty much. Yeah.
You got what? 5-6 weeks till then?
7.
7 weeks.
I got 50. I'm out 53 days out.
And you start March 17th.
March 17th.
Damn.
Yep.
You'll figure it out later.
I'll figure it out. I've got an idea of a plan.
I mean, you know enough people that have done this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like Matt and Paul and all these guys. I'm guessing you'll have like an RV and then like a crew vehicle
I
or
hope
something.
so.
I
might be pushing a cart, dude. And having a just one vehicle out there with, I don't know, man.
Oh
We're trying. So I got a guy that I met when I was at Eric Kinnaman's in Denver, and we're doing a sauna, and I was sharing with them what I was fixing to do, and his name's Zane, and he was like, "Hey man, I've got a camper van. I'll give it to you at a good rate."
Nice.
So I've been talking to Zane. He gave me a quote on it. I'm probably going to go ahead and get that camper van, and then all we got to do is secure an RV. So we're doing fundraisers back in Cherokee to make sure that we get some money on the front end to pay for Transcon and pay for all the logistical pieces and food and all that stuff. I've got some sponsors who've been coming on board. Hopefully that once we start to generate a little bit more momentum, other people will come on. But yeah, dude, if anybody's got an RV, let me know. Hit me up.
I'm trying to think if I know anybody. I know a company in Salt Lake City.
Let me know, dude.
It's like Sprinter vans. I don't know if that's what you need. But if you already have a camper van.
I mean, if we have to do 2 vans, we will.
I could connect you with them.
Okay.
Might be done.
Perfect.
That thing's going to be smelly after 50 days.
Know, dude. Yeah.
Hopefully they're okay with that. Yeah, I mean, I think Matt Johnson said his run across Texas was like $50,000, right? Roughly is what that cost.
Oh, no.
I think he said it was like 50,000. He posted about it. He made it a reel. And then I've heard from other people that did Transcons. I think it was like over $100,000 total. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't tell you that.
We're about to go rob a bank.
No, they probably did it not as smart. Maybe, I don't know. There's got to be a better way.
I don't know.
It shouldn't cost that much.
Well, I mean, it's going to be over $5,000 for the van.
Yeah,
which is not a bad deal for 2 months. I mean,
no, not at all.
No.
I mean, I know Matt was saying they stayed in hotels a couple nights and stuff.
Yeah,
I think. So. Yeah, dude, that's gonna be crazy, man.
Yeah.
What's the closest to Austin you'll come?
So I want to go North Texas. Obviously I can't go on 40. I got to stay off major highways. But I would imagine I want to be coming close to Amarillo.
Okay, nice.
Yep.
I think that's like 8 hours from here, 9 hours.
I got a couple of people who's helping me with mapping out the route and everything.
Nice.
So TBD.
Yeah, once you get the actual route, I want to see it.
Okay, I will.
Maybe we could throw it in the description or something. So people,
okay.
Obviously, if people listening to this probably all over the country, if you come through anywhere near them, I'm sure they'd love to go.
Yeah,
log some miles with
it. Would be cool to post a route that way people can see for sure.
Dude, what if people want to support? Obviously, not only support the run for the greater purpose of raising money for the charity and everything, but if they want to, how can people support?
So I've got some links that I will be putting up in my link tree on Instagram, and you can also go to RezHOPErecovery.com and you can make a donation there.
If we'll have those links by this week.
Oh yeah, I'll get them to you. Yeah,
nice.
we put them in the show notes.
Okay, I'll put them in there.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
Yeah.
If you guys want to help out, donate to a great cause.
Yeah. Changing lives.
Yeah, dude.
What you would, so it would provide salary staffing. Did I say that right?
Staffing salary.
Staffing salary.
Salary for the staff.
Salary for the staff. Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Y'all know what I mean. Y'all know you're picking up what I'm putting down here. And then it would help out with the rent for the guys. You know, they pay rent once they get employed, or they have a grace period that we will provide funding for their stay. And then also too, I mean, just helping these guys find recovery support, helping them get on their feet, things like that. So I mean, yeah, it's going back into changing lives for sure.
100%, dude. I love that.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see it all play out.
Appreciate it, man.
I definitely want to come log some miles with you.
You got to. You can come out at least for a day or two.
Definitely.
Okay.
Give me the route now. I'll plan it.
All right. I'll let you know.
Well, we gotta hop off because we gotta go shoot some content.
Let's follow up after I finish.
Yeah. When are you expected to be finished? Start March 17th. Well, like early May, end of April.
May 5th through the 12th. One like in that week span.
Okay.
Yep.
Heck yeah. Yeah, we'll plan for something May or June maybe.
Okay.
Once you're done.
Yeah.
We got to recap this crazy experience.
Well, I got to drive back.
Journey.
I'll probably drive back to Denver to drop the van off.
Oh, right.
And then I could fly from Denver to Austin.
Plan on it.
There you go. Bet. See, we already got it planned, y'all.
Heck yeah. And then tomorrow, dude, we're going to go knock out 20 miles.
Yep.
650 pace.
650. I mean, if you go a little faster,
maybe faster if we're feeling good.
Yeah. I think Jeremy thinks he's going to drop me. It's not happening.
No, I think I might get dropped. I mean, I can hang. I don't know. We'll see.
You'll be good, dude. Just give me the gels. Just feed me,
okay.
And I'll run as fast and as long as you want me to run.
Okay. The real question is Matt going to show up?
No. Dude, no.
He doesn't run faster than 9 minutes.
8:30. Come on, Matt. Come with us.
All right. Beautiful, dude. This is fun. If anybody wants to connect with you and ask you questions, reach out, anything like that, where can they do that?
Yeah, on Instagram, _recoveryline86, or my Facebook, it's under my name. And then I got my YouTube, which I'm trying to grow right now. We got 4 episodes of the Transcon. It's up.
That's been great.
Yeah. Have you watched any of them?
I watched the first 2.
Okay.
I haven't seen the last 2 yet.
Appreciate the support. Thanks, man. But yeah, YouTube, it's going to be under my name or Recovery Line, so you can find me there.
Beautiful. Go check him out. Get ready for his Transcon. It's going to be nuts, man. I look forward to it.
Appreciate it, man.
All right. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a review, and share it with a friend. We'll see you in the next one.